Hey guys, Rorius here. Welcome back to Half-Life 2 Episode 2, the developer commentary playthrough. Alrighty, let's immediately start by listening to this. Before we go any further, I've turned AI off, so Alex shouldn't interrupt us.
In the source engine, we use a realistic radiosity lighting simulator to generate lighting detail for the geometry in our game worlds. In previous games using the source engine, shadows were simulated as if cast by totally opaque objects.
Right.
In Episode 2, we needed to render large wooded areas, which required us to modify our shadowing technology to account for the sparse, semi-transparent nature of foliage. With these upgrades to our radiosity lighting simulator, we are now able to realistically illuminate the trees themselves, as well as generate soft, semi-transparent shadows on the environment around them.
I had actually never noticed that. Actually, yeah, if you look at the trees, they've got small amounts of lighting on them. I'm assuming designed to be, like, through, although they're very dark up there. So I don't know if it entirely works the way they wanted it to. But, okay, I didn't know that they actually did that for this game. Whatever the case. Let's move on. Wait, that was I'm assuming that was node 1. Okay, so I just checked, that was node 1 of 6.
I see an antenna. Huh, I think that's White Forest.
I would believe that to be the case too.
To make it the rest of the way.
Why does she keep cutting off her dialogue? I don't get it. Wait, before I do that, I think I want to go right up to the door. Because we've got a little something through here. Oh, actually, I might try and do that now. I'm going to listen to all these now. Because there's 4 nodes all around here. So yeah, let's do this now before the big cutscene thingy happens.
The Strider has big parts of him that rip off. He spews goo everywhere. He's a great testbed for new modeling technology and our new particle system. We custom built him just for this sequence. With our episodic process, a lot of new technology comes online throughout development. Since any new technology takes a year or more to really work out all the bugs, we like to look for isolated areas, like this one, where we can test out new things without risking all the things we know already work.
Right,
We did this with HDR in our Lost Coast demos. Once we're sure we didn't break anything, we can move the features back into general use.
Yeah.
Since the Strider worked out really well here, he'll be the new Strider as we move forward, and we'll be applying what we've learned to any new monsters in Episode 3.
That's depressing.
Our main goal with this scene was to create a cinematic battle of the Titans, Dog versus a Strider.
Yeah.
While we were excited with the earlier implementations, it became obvious that players were uncertain of their role in the scene. Originally, the confrontation built slowly, with Dog squaring off against the Strider. But having such a slow beginning proved problematic. It looked great in the trailer, but didn't play well in the game. Instead of the slow build, we decided to send Dog straight into action. He makes a grand entrance, jumps on the Strider, and the fight is on. The quick start helps to grab the player's attention, instead of giving them too much time to worry about what they ought to be doing.
Yeah. Instead of making the player think they need to fight the Strider, just, you know, set it up in such a way that Dog is already ready to go. And, yeah, take away any confusion.
Alex's robot dog is cobbled together from spare parts, all of which are in various states of disrepair. For Episode 2, we chose to use shading techniques to improve the look of Dog and better convey his scrapyard origins. Along with upgrades to Dog's texture maps, his shader now uses a combination of Phong shading and environment mapping to increase the apparent detail and diversity of materials, from rusty bolts to the damaged metal flaps salvaged from a combine scanner.
Yeah. I love that he's got a scanner as a face. I think that's brilliant.
Racing Dog to the base was not a preconceived plan. It was born out of testing the level over and over, and repeatedly trying to keep up with Dog as he ran to the base. This was sufficiently fun for us that we began to figure out ways to encourage players to do it too.
I'm sure that was the end of the dialogue. I don't know why it cut off. But yeah, that actually became quite the fun part. People enjoy that section, so why not?
Whoa, a dropship. That must have been the crash we heard.
Yeah, I heard it.
4 sentries are doing their job.
I heard it in the previous one, but I did not see it, or I didn't see it properly. If you could see anything, that is.
What the hell?
It's like, that's right.
Wait, it sounds like... Oh, Dog?
Yeah. Yeah. And he, like, Dog had already done a ton of damage to the Strider. It already, like, ripped its gun away from its face.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Way to go, boy.
Yeah. It's really gross to see, because so far Striders have basically been... So far Striders have basically been just robots. It wasn't really until this moment that you see that actually the Striders are mostly biological, with just robotic augmentation.
You're alright.
Aww.
You had me worried.
Dog's awesome.
Everything working alright? Good.
All right down there.
We're fine.
Dog okay.
Better now.
We've been waiting for you. Just follow the stream, then head up the other side. White Forest is right there. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
Alright. Thanks. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, so basically the insides of a Strider are very biological.
Good boy.
And they like spray with blood and stuff like that. It might be synthetic blood, but still. Come on, Alex. Get in the vehicle.
Looks like we need your help again. Would you mind?
As soon as we can, I'm going full force. I want to beat Dog. I probably won't. I usually don't. Ah.
Way to go, boy! Okay, dog. Race you to the base. Step
Get
on
out
it,
of the
boy.
way. Actually, no, I think previously I've beat him like every time I've played the last few times. Oh god. No, no! No! Shit, okay, it's done. We've lost. Shit. That's all good. It's actually nicer when Dog wins, the dialogue that comes. I feel like the dialogue that comes if you beat him is like a concern for Dog and his...
This is it. We made it.
Oh god.
Gordon Freeman.
Oh my god.
Well, you won this time, dog. Let us in.
Yeah.
Yo,
I feel like
through.
the dialogue if we win
Thanks.
is much sort of sadder and saltier and all that.
Dog take off like that.
Never so glad to see him, believe me.
Yeah.
Well,
Like an actual
White
dog.
Forest.
Like goes
Maybe.
running for his
Safe at
his
last.
owner. Aw. What's down this way? I don't think I've ever been down this way before. Oh shit. This is awesome. What the hell is going on with him? But yeah, no, I don't think I've ever bothered to look out here before.
It's freedom.
I thought he was gonna say it's. I thought he was gonna say, "Smell that? It's Freeman." Oh dear, that's funny.
Hell, Gordon Freeman. And about time, too.
They'll just say the default voice lines for citizens. Crap, I missed a node. There was definitely a node left. Okay, we just go to our mutual friend. I'll save it here, permanent save, but I'm gonna go back.
Gordon,
Oh,
this is it. We made
I
it.
beat him this time.
Alex and Gordon Freeman.
Better luck next time, Slowpoke. Let us in.
Okay, makes no real difference. I thought it was much sadder than that.
We had a feeling.
Well, Gordon, White Forest. We made it. Safe at last.
I wouldn't say safe, but stop right there. Let's go over here. And
So, a really cool experience was that while I was at Valve, I was talking to one of the animators in the hallway, and we're just carrying on a conversation. I was getting to know what he did, and I just happened to be looking over my shoulder and noticed that people kept popping their heads out of their offices. And one of the other guys noted to me that these people, ooh, bless them, they have to sit around and listen to my voice all day long. So for that voice to be kind of just chatting in the hallway was a little weird. And I guess I kind of liken that. I can understand it because the very first time I saw my voice on Alex Vance's face, it was so bizarre. And so when I watch people talk to me for the first time and they've heard my voice as Alex, they have the exact same expression. I'm like, I understand. I get it.
Yeah, that's actually really funny. Imagine you're just working in a room or something, or you're working in your office and you hear the voice of insert favorite character here sort of thing from a TV show. Imagine you hear Tom Kenny, for instance, talking down a hall, and I mean, he always does voices for his characters, so maybe it's not a good example, but if you heard, like, Hugh Laurie's voice down the hall, who's a famous actor nowadays, I don't know, hear their voice just, like, chatting to someone down the hall, you'd be like, like, is someone famous in the hall? So, like, if you're working on that voice all the time, you're hearing it all the time, and then suddenly it's like, wait a minute, that voice. That's really cool. That's really cool.
Alex, Dr. Freak,
Okay.
we made it.
Hey.
We're back.
Boy, are we glad to be here.
Yeah, we heard you ran into a little trouble out there. Combine's been trying to hit in the front door. I think they learned their lesson. You mind if we keep dog patrolling out here?
Not at all. You heard him, dog. I'm gonna go see Dad. I'll catch up to you later. You take care of yourself.
I don't think Eli knows you're here yet. He's in Silo 1 access unit, right through here.
Shall we?
We shall. This is a pretty cool area. Lots of, like, background NPC stuff happening.
Oh no, what's that?
Well, now what?
All right, back to work, everyone. It's just another false alarm in the secondary silo.
Let's take a walk.
Same old Dr. Magnuson.
The thing is that as the player, we haven't really seen Dr. Magnuson before.
You ever used an AR-2 before?
AR-2? No. Now, an AR-3, sure. Plenty of times.
There is no such thing as an AR-3.
Sky.
Well, see, in the city, the place was lousy with AR-3s.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it was. So, do you know what the alternative fire method does on the AR-2? It kills hunters.
They tell you
How
that
did your
now.
city folk kill hunters?
We sure as hell didn't use guns. We would just wrestle hunters to the ground with our bare hands. I used to kill 10, 20 a day, just using my fists.
Oh, so when you're out in the field, you're gonna be punching hunters?
In the field? I'm not going out in the field. I'm a radio operator.
Sky.
That's it. Leave. You don't need to be here, and I'm not gonna continue the lesson until you leave.
I'm staying right here.
I am serious. Leave.
Okay, I'm gonna leave. I've overstayed my welcome. There's the couple again. I haven't been paying attention to them, but they're there now. They just closed the door behind me, ominously. Okay, before we continue.
In sketching out the scenes for the episode, we noticed a lack of interpersonal conflict between the characters who had survived from Half-Life 2. Alex, Eli, and Dr. Kleiner have a lot of affection for one another, as you will see in many of the scenes. And while we all value the benefit of strong, positive relationships, we were happy to have Dr. Magnuson around to get irritated by all the hugging.
Yeah. Goddamn Dr. Magnuson.
Hey, Gordon, man, you made it.
I did.
Alex.
Aww.
I was so afraid I wouldn't see you again.
There, sweetheart. We're together now. That's all that matters. And look at you, son. I knew if you both stayed together, you could get through anything.
Yeah? We make a pretty good team.
Yeah, well, that's good, because, well, now that the suppression field's down, we all have to do our part.
Dad?
Can you blame an old man for wanting grandkids?
Terrible.
What happened to you?
Dad, it's not what it looks like. I'm fine.
Are you sure? Shouldn't we have that looked at?
Really, I'm fine. Where's Dr. Kleiner? We should get this data to him right away.
Okay. Yes, we should. He'll be glad for a chance to get out of the silo. This way, Gordon. The way he and Magnuson have been going at it, you'd think they were still competing for grant money.
Before we continue, there is noise in the background, so I'm going to wait for a second. Okay, so I think the background noise has stopped. Let's continue.
Some things never change.
Yeah. No!
Do we
No!
have any idea how long until the super portal's active?
I missed a node. God damn it. How are you supposed to listen to the nodes if everyone's talking?
Dr. Freeman.
Shut up.
Gordon!
I'm gonna see what happens if I...
Alex!
they're stuck sort of a certain distance away from each other, not being able to do anything about it. God damn it, there's a freaking bird in my window, it's so distracting. Let's listen to this.
It means a lot to me to have multi-ethnic heroine. When I was growing up, that didn't happen a whole lot. I mean, maybe Storm from X-Men, I don't know. But it wasn't commonplace. So to have someone that's my type be in that kind of position is really, really amazing. I mean, I think it's a popular trend now, but that wasn't always the case.
Yeah, well, actually, even as of Half-Life 2, it wasn't particularly common. You know, it wasn't all that common, but as of, like, Episode 2, it became way more common. And it's much more of a common thing nowadays, I would say. Especially in certain fields. I think, especially in, like, nerd culture generally, there's a lot more of that kind of thing. We're a lot more accepting than your average field. But I'll jump back to where we were.
The way he and Magnuson have been going at it, you'd think they were still competing for grant money.
Some things never change.
Well, I feel like that line is... I remember it really well, but that's because it's used in a Gmod Idiot Box sketch, and I always laugh at this. The Gmod Idiot Box I used to watch all the time.
Do we have any idea how long until the super portal's active?
We don't know for certain. We're keeping an eye on it.
And what about the Combine? Will we be able to launch before they attack?
It's gonna be close. All it would take is one Strider to destroy our rocket. But we're ready for him.
I'm sorry we couldn't get here any sooner, Dad.
Don't worry, sweetheart. You're gonna make it. I'm just so glad to have you back.
I'm glad to be back.
The last thing I did was submitting it for the Kleiner certificate of approval. With the result of staffing and supply deficiencies. And get your cranial parasite away from my nose cone!
Now listen here, Magnuson. There's no call for hurtful comments. Eli, why didn't you tell me they'd arrived?
Don't worry, Izzy. They just got here.
My dear, what a relief. Not to mention a delight to see you here at last. And Gordon, I see you in the HEV suit have taken excellent care of each other.
They're inseparable.
The data, people, the data! Kleiner, are you going to sync up the satellite, or should I postpone the launch to make time for a family reunion?
Oh, brother.
All right.
This guy.
I was just saying hello to Alex and Gordon.
Oh, fine. No one grants me a moment's peace, but by all means, unroll the red carpet.
Good grief. I only meant they might... Oh, never mind him. Now, my dear, where is this data packet you've been carrying? If I delay a single moment, I'll never hear the end of it.
You have my word on it.
Here, Dr. Kleiner.
I like that he's sort of
ton of data.
pretending he's not there, but he's there.
It was all attached to a transmission from Judith.
Transmission? From Judith?
Do you mean the message didn't get through?
We've got to see this right away.
Just let me start the decoding process, and then we can view it in the auxiliary control room.
For God's sake, hurry.
Yes, of course.
Another alarm?
Oh, what next in the parade of constant interruption?
Another great line.
Hello, is anyone there? Anyone? False alarms all day. Damn crows have been nesting in the tracks. I do not know how I am supposed to concentrate with all of this racket. Freeman, you're not doing anything. Make yourself useful and find out what the hell is going on in there.
Yes. Gordon, if you don't mind, I'd feel better if you had a look.
Catch up with us when you're done.
Okay.
Freeman!
I'll let this continue for now.
Glass doors will have sealed due to the alert, so you'll have to go through the bottom of the launch tube. I'll open this hatch to let you down. Now, once you're down there, I'll have Uriah let you into the secondary silo.
Alright. Well, now that everything's stopped... Actually, I shouldn't turn off the AI.
What are you waiting for, Freeman? A hug? The situation's not going to investigate itself.
Okay, just wait a minute. There, he's paused. He's frozen in time. Let's listen to this.
Due to the number of characters involved in this scene and the cramped spaces, we found that the actors were constantly pushing the player around in order to get to their marks. We developed some tech that allowed the actors to gauge the position of the player and the other actors, and choose among a selection of marks. This not only solved the congestion problem, but made scenes feel more dynamic.
Yeah, because in Half-Life 2 and stuff, I always found myself being like shunted out of position by the other actors. So yeah, it's good that they tried to develop something a little bit better than that.
Dr. Magnuson was a result of a decision to bring forward another signature character from the original Half-Life, along the lines of Dr. Kleiner and Barney. As we developed the character, we kept referring back to this line from Half-Life to keep us on track.
Gordon doesn't need to hear all this. He's a highly trained professional.
Oh, I love that
We've
line.
assured the administrator that nothing will go wrong.
Though we liked the character who came into focus, we found that this voice was sounding too much like a caricature for our increasingly grim and realistic world. We like to hire actors with the natural voices that we want for our characters, as opposed to hiring actors to create voice characterizations. In John Aylward, we found someone who could deliver the brusque arrogance of the original lines, and also take the character forward into some of the richer and subtler opportunities we foresee for him.
Right. Foresee for him. Once again, I'm triggered.
If you listened closely to the Vortigaunts in the Antlion tunnels, you may have heard one of them using a complaint very similar to Dr. Magnuson's here. Their affinity to Dr. Magnuson has caused some of his mannerisms to spread among them by way of their low-grade telepathy.
Yeah, once again, the dialogue cut off. But yeah, that's a big thing in this, I've heard, and involved in many theories to do with
Hurry and get down that ladder.
the Vortigaunts and
Quickly, man.
yeah, their relationship to the humans in this game.
The ladder's
Yeah,
here.
Lamar just like goes inside the rocket. Whatever the case, we shall continue down. I have a feeling this episode is just going to be full of dialogue stuff. I have a feeling there's a little bit of combat coming up, but it's mostly dialogue, this whole section.
Rather than just make up something that would fit our fantasies of a rocket, we designed Dr. Magnuson's rocket around blueprints from the Titan family of missiles. Grounding the details of our world in reality, making them as precise as possible, makes the invented, fantastic elements seem that much more believable.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, apparently this rocket is far more like a real rocket. The rocket they used for Half-Life 1 was designed to look like a certain kind of shuttle, but it's not usually one that's used for the purposes that they were using it for, you know, it's not usually used for satellite, sending a satellite into space. Let's get going. I believe I turned AI back on.
Attention personnel.
Good.
This is Dr. Magnuson. Since the secondary silo staff seem incapable of solving their little crow problem, you will be happy to hear we have put the popular Dr. Freeman on the job. We all look forward to his remedy, and I look forward to hearing the staff's excuses for why they couldn't handle it themselves. Thank you for your patience.
Knowing what is actually happening makes all of this, all of his anger about this, a little bit like, okay. But yeah, let's pause again.
We intended White Forest to offer a change of pace from the constant action that preceded it. A few moments to reunite with old friends and get to know Dr. Magnuson. A breather before the big battle ahead. However, our first version of the sequence was a logjam of long, talky scenes. Gordon and Alex stood around listening to Kleiner and Magnuson argue at the top of the silo, then rode an elevator to the bottom of the shaft while Dr. Kleiner lectured them about rockets and satellites. They wandered into a control room to watch Dr. Mossman's transmission, and then hatched a plan to get her back. We knew we were in trouble when even the authors of the scene were bored, and no one had the patience for the revelations that followed. We divided the sequence into a number of smaller pieces that could be interleaved with solitary exploration and some combat. This required rebuilding the path and moving the control room upstairs, where the transmission scene became a reward for surviving the secondary silo. As a result of these changes, the White Forest experience is more varied, the narrative comes in digestible portions, and the players are able to play at their own speed, rather than being led by the nose the entire time.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that even now, with the final iteration of this, it still feels like quite a talky scene. I know that there is, like, they've now inserted these little combat sections in between to make it feel much more rewarding. But even so, like, imagine they didn't have any of those combat scenes and the whole end of the game was just from the start of getting back to White Forest, or getting to White Forest, sorry, and then firing the rocket. Imagine there was no combat there. How much just never-ending talking. Yeah, terrible. Let's listen to this right away.
This steam jet is an example of something we call a mechanic refresher. It's meant to refresh the player's memory on how to perform a certain task they may not have used in a while.
Right.
In this case, we remind the player about using valves to turn off steam in a relaxed environment.
Yeah.
In the map just ahead, this trick will be fresh in their mind, and they'll be far more likely to realize they can use steam jets tactically when they encounter them in a combat situation.
Yeah. That is, once again, I'll reiterate how I believe Valve is very good at reminding players of mechanics and making sure that they're aware of what they can do at any one time, so that they don't get into a situation where it's like, what the frickin' hell do I do? And then it's like, oh, that old mechanic. Okay. Like, in so many games, like, they'll introduce a mechanic, but then they just won't use it for a long time, and then all of a sudden you're back to using it again, and because you didn't remember it or you weren't aware of it, you feel really dumb for not being able to solve it right away. Yeah. It just makes the player frustrated. Let's restart AI and get moving again. Yeah, so you can turn this off. Man, that took a long time of turning. Some random information. I used this Valve model as an update picture for the Steam Pipe patch for Portal Unity. Oh, we saw there was a Vortigaunt there. Well, there's still a Vortigaunt here. Just brushing. There was another Vortigaunt here, but he moved. How am I doing for time? I'll go a little bit further. I'll go through this little cutscene real quick. Nope, don't need those. Talk to him. Yeah. The manual override didn't work. I wonder which yeah, they were mentioning before about the line Vortigaunt's using in the caves of Magnuson's. I wonder which line they're talking about.
Magnuson has instructed me to admit you into the secondary silo.
Yeah.
The secondary silo can be reached through here.
Okay. I'm just gonna check I didn't miss any nodes. Okay, so let's pause everything again. Turn off subtitles.
In Half-Life 2, when we first decided to make Vortigaunt ally characters, we played around with having a prominent Vortigaunt companion.
Right.
Because of their bowed posture and semi-servile manner, this individual was dubbed Heap, after Dickens' character, Uriah Heep. In Episode 2, we named the prominent Vort at White Forest Base Uriah. In Episode 3, we'll find out Dickens' unused middle name for Uriah Heep.
Right, so I had to listen to that the second time just to catch that last bit. So they had planned for, in the next episode, once again, triggered, in the next episode they were planning to name the Vortigaunt companion you were going to have, because you were going to have a Vortigaunt companion in the next episode, after an unknown middle name for the character Uriah Heep. I don't know this character because I don't know the narrative, but yeah, that once again, I'm bothered. I'm so bothered. Why couldn't we just have got one more episode? Let's listen to this.
Originally created as a minor background character, the Vortigaunt lab assistant, known internally as Labby, was so popular with playtesters that he evolved into a fully developed character with a unique name and a special place by Dr. Magnuson's side. Yeah. Once again, I don't know why all the dialogue lines are cutting off. Is it like a Steam Pipe update thing? Because it looks like there's a few things that broke with that. It might be, I don't know. But it's weird. It's weird. Whatever the case. Can I...
Truly, the Magnuson's mind is akin to a force of nature.
For some reason, they're so into Magnuson. Whatever. There's one more... Oh, I missed a note again. Damn it. Unless we return to that map. Because what I was gonna do is I was gonna save it in this map, but god damn it. Okay, I discovered it. I forgot about this reference. This is a Lost reference. I never watched Lost, but apparently this computer with these numbers is a Lost reference, and this is where the note is.
Many of us are fans of Lost, and we noticed several strong Half-Life references in the first season of Lost. Gabe Newell and Lost creator J.J. Abrams exchanged fan mail, and Gabe promised Abrams there'd be a Lost reference in episode 2. We delivered on the promise in this obscure area of the White Forest base.
What Half-Life references are there in Lost? I'm curious now. I never watched Lost, so... Friends of mine watch Lost. I know one of my friends who watched Lost watches this, so maybe he could tell me, but whatever the case. Okay.
God's sake, Freeman, what is taking you so long?
I literally just arrived. But whatever the case, that is all I have time for this episode. So yeah, as I suspected, basically no combat in this episode. It's all just, like, cutscene, dialogue, some driving. In the next episode, we're going to be doing a fairly combat-heavy silo section, and then probably the final cutscene, or final, like, dialogue thing before the big finale of the game. And of the series, unfortunately. But yeah, we're making progress. We're actually getting really close to the end of this developer commentary. And after this developer commentary, there's not really any other developer commentaries left. Of Valve's developer commentaries. Because I've already done Portal and Portal 2. I've done all the Half-Life games. What else is there? What other games of theirs has developer commentary? I think there's some very basic Half-Life 2 Team Fortress 2 developer commentary, which I could take a look at if you really want to. Let me know in the comments or on Discord. But yeah, other than that, I can't think of any other places that there are any other games that there are developer commentary. Yeah. Unless there's ones in CSGO or something like that I've just never seen. I have CSGO, but I've played it all of like twice. I'd be curious to see, maybe Editing Rory will put it somewhere on the screen, exactly how much I've actually played it. Because I believe it'll be less than an hour. I got it way back when it first came out, and I've just never played it. If anything, I've played more Counter-Strike Source than Counter-Strike Go since it's released. Just since Go was released. But I don't really play either of them, to be fair. Enough rambling. If you like what you saw, hit like. If you want to see more from me, then subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and as always...